Ladies and gentlemen, for a session sponsored by Travelsify, please welcome CEO and co-founder of Travelsify, Bruno Chauvat, and CEO Almundo.com, Juan Pablo Lafosse, for a discussion with editor of SkiftX Greg Oates.
Good morning, Europe. We're happy to be here. I remember 3 years ago when Skift was just finding its legs, we said, we got to someday get to Europe, and then here it is. It's hard to fathom everything that's going on. So today we're going to talk about personalization. When we talk about personalization, it's really within the context of driving loyalty, driving lifetime customer value. You heard Richard and Rafat this morning talk about loyalty programs. Those are always going to exist. That's more of really a behavioral type of loyalty, rewards-induced motivation platforms kind of thing. Really the next level loyalty is attitudinal loyalty, and personalization is really part of that. And we're going to get into where personalization is going in 2017. So first, Bruno, people are not wanting to look at 100 hotel reviews anymore. In this day and age, we kind of expect personalized recommendations delivered right to us. Can you first talk about what Travelsify is, and then sort of how you are filling that gap between what we want as consumers and what hotels and OTAs are messaging?
Okay, thanks, Greg, and good morning, everyone. Let me first start in saying that personalization is like a coin with two sides. You have on one hand the traveler, the guest, on the other hand, the product, the hotel. And if an online booking platform wants to deliver highly personalized suggestion, it means to understand the intent of the traveler, the preference, as much as the product experiences, because these are the two elements which are going to match together and provide that personalized experience. And today, the industry has mostly focused on user data, relying on basic information about the product. If you look at online booking platform, you will see that hotels are still defined by amenities with lift, parking, room service. While if you look at what travelers are saying, they discuss about fashion design, atmosphere, cozy ambience, the stylish rooms. So they are discussing about experiences, not about the lift or the parking. And at Travelsify, we have analyzed more than 100 million reviews. So we know and we see that traveler speaks about experiences. We have read these reviews in many languages, many places of the world, and they all speak about experiences. So that's the reason why we created Travelsify Hotel DNA, which is a unique sequence of experience-defining attributes that matter to the travelers when booking their hotels. We have defined 34 attributes to create that hotel DNA. These 34 attributes are such as spacious, quiet, bright, but also design, zen, really reflecting the experience in a multi-dimension. And it will facilitate the traveler to choose easily and rapidly the hotel he would like.
Excellent. And we'll come back to some examples there. Juan Pablo, could you talk a little bit about what El Mundo is briefly, and then sort of discuss your strategy moving forward in terms of how you're personalizing the product for the consumer?
Okay, El Mundo is a B2C omni-channel travel agency. We're mainly focused on leisure travelers. Our gross bookings are about $500 million a year, and we have about half a million customers a year. Our main sales channel is online, but we also have like 70 stores and a contact center, and we are operating in Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and very soon in Brazil. Talking about our strategy, we believe that there's a bigger opportunity to improve the value proposition that OTAs and ourselves are offering to our consumers. So we're focusing a lot on innovation in order to improve this value proposition, and definitely personalization is a key element on our our on the value proposition that we are creating, as definitely a personalized experience creates value and creates loyalty. So the way we see personalization is quite wide, as we are trying to tackle all the touch points that of our consumers' journeys, and we're trying to collect data and deliver personalized content all along these touch points. And we are building our own recommendation engine that is trying to personalize not only transactional content, as travel products, but also non-transactional contents. I mean, we want our customers to feel that we're not just selling them products, but also helping them to organize their trips. So, for example, if somebody's traveling with their kids, we want to offer them, tips about how to travel with kids and what to do at destination with kids. And in relation to what we are doing on our offline channels, what we're trying to do is to personalize the right available agent. We have about 500 agents on our staff with each consumer lead. So basically what we are doing is finding the right available agent to answer and
so that matchmaking.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that. Bruno, you've talked in the past. I kind of know what you're saying, but I'm not quite sure. But when you talk about trust is the new currency in travel, what do you mean by that?
Yes, I'm really convinced that trust is the new currency in travel, because personalization is about improving the customer experience, but it's also, let's be frank, about raising conversion and also keeping customer loyal. So personalization is about trust. You cannot keep customer if they don't trust you. So it's of paramount importance that trust is delivered through at least two elements, which are transparency and explanation about why this recommendation is made to me.
Okay.
And then we see that nowadays it's more important for people to have recommendation from people like-minded that share their taste rather than expert or let's say brands. So they have to understand that the hotel experience is defined by other travelers. First level of transparency. Second, we are able to provide geo-targeted DNA, meaning the targeted DNA of one given country. For instance, for Juan Pablo would be Argentina. And then second level of transparency. Third element, it's about explaining why we are recommending that hotel, because it's X, Y, Z. We should, meaning in plain English, not saying that's because 10,528 users have visited that website. Does not create trust. And that explanation about why it is recommended to you is really of paramount importance. And I would like to share something that's probably not barely noticed outside of the entertainment industry. A couple of weeks ago, Netflix, which has been seen for years as the pioneer in personalization, announced that in the coming months, they are going to drop the movie ratings a la TripAdvisor. Why? Because they realize that it's useless to have that kind of rating. And they are going to replace that system by a match score. And the match score is something which is dedicated to you as an individual. That's called personalization.
So let's talk about that, because that leads into the news you have to share today.
Yes, and I wanted to say that Netflix is going to provide to their user that in the coming months, and Accor is going to provide it today, because they announced yesterday that they are launching Match, which is a brand new way to search for hotels without having first to say, I would like to go there at these dates, but really trying to define where you want to go by your mood and your taste. So you have a selection of moods highlighted by pictures, so a la Instagram, I would say, and you select your moods, and thanks to Travelsify data and technology, Accor is going to provide the results which will be relevant to the user according to their queries, to their requests. So it means that everybody is going to see one hotel which is 89% match score because it's designed, spacious, luxury, and gourmet. So that's a brand new approach, and that's completely innovative, and even further amplified by the fact that on Accor Hotel, you don't have only Accor hotels. You have also independent hotels. So it means that the customer is going to be able to find what he's interested in and not what is pushed to him by the OTA. So creating one really relation in terms of trustworthy relation between the hotel group or the OTA and the customer. And that trustworthy relation is the basis of trust. And I'm pretty sure that, not pretty sure, I'm really convinced that the online booking platform, which will be able to leverage this trust as a currency, will be the big winners of tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Juan Pablo, can you talk a little bit more specifics about how you're trying to, or you will be, developing personalization, just get into some more specifics, and then talk about your collaboration with Travelsify also.
Okay. You know, besides the fact of investing a lot of resources on our personalization model, you know, what we are trying to do is to collect data from different sources, you know, other sources than ours, in order to build a much better and accurate model. You know, other companies like, for example, Travelsify or Facebook, for example, and probably, you know, other companies that are not travel related, like I would say, you know, in some kind of retailers. Or to give an example, for example, we're working on a project with a medical institution and trying to find the correlation between, you know, the health conditions of consumers and, for example, the destination of the length of the travel that they may be taking. So I think that to build, you know, to collect a lot of data from different sources and be in that way to build a much more precise and collaborative model, it can help both parts. And I think that's a challenge itself, because you need to choose the right partners, but definitely, you know, choosing the right partner and being capable of developing your data science capabilities is part of the game.
Okay. So we just have a couple minutes left. I want to talk a little bit about where this is going, especially in terms of artificial intelligence. And we speak with a lot of academics in hospitality and tourism, and they equate brand affinity or brand loyalty, or, you know, sometimes brand love, not too dissimilar from human love. And this gets really deep in terms of the academics, but love, as they describe it, are the vertices of three triangles, which is intimacy, passion, and commitment, which relates to hotels. I mean, we feel about brands, and some brands, the same way. That intimacy angle is really going to take off with what AI can do. Can you just talk a little bit about how you see artificial intelligence completely disrupting personalization moving forward?
I think it's going to be very important in the coming months and years to see that the situation, we can completely reshuffle the deck, thanks to the rise of the chatbot, the artificial intelligence, and what I would call, more than chatbot, virtual assistant. Why? Because virtual assistant is something that you have always with you, that is going to provide you some trusted advice. So you need to tell and to speak and to write to your virtual assistant the same way you would speak to your friend or to your assistant. So let's imagine that, for instance, I'm telling somebody I would like, I've been in Barcelona recently, I like the W Barcelona, I would like to have the similar hotel in London. Today, there is no, let's say, platform enabling that, because not the existing platform, none of the existing platform have enough in-depth understanding of the product. So from a human standpoint, it's very simple to say, provide me with a similar hotel. But from a product standpoint, from a data standpoint, it's much more important. And as I said, the trust is something that if you fail in providing the right answer to that question, maybe because you have a big brand, you will be seeing your customer twice. But if you continue to fail, it will not come back 3 times. Because so that's really at the end of the structured queries. I would say that's like shifting from Alta Vista to Google. So it's really reshuffled completely the deck, and we see only the beginning today.
Juan, Pablo, what are your thoughts about that?
I agree that probably virtual assistants will change the way the whole industry, but probably we'll see like the mix of humans and AI in the coming years. But for sure, in 4 or 5 years, virtual assistant will be able to solve most travel needs better than humans. So the question I would say is, which are going to be the most successful virtual assistants? I mean, are they being built by somebody from our industry, or probably Alexa or Siri or Cortana will be the most successful one? So
we could talk about human-machine interface for the rest of the day. I mean, there's so much there, but we're out of time. But thank you both much. Congratulations on the announcements, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Greg.